Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, we are going to have the initiation ceremony today, and we will go ahead and start off with all the wonderful devotees taking initiation today. So first of all, congratulations to every single one of you. We're going to do some Achman, we'll start some invocation prayers. We'll read the first few verses of the Brahma Samhita. So we'll get ready that way, and then Maharaj is going to give a class on initiation. So everybody, you'll have an Achaman cup in front of you. So please take a few drops in your right hand. Use the left hand with the spoon. Take a few drops in your right hand. And repeat after me. Om Apavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastham Gato Apiva Yasmaret Pundarikaksham Sahabhaya Abhyantaraha Suchihi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. Now you can sip the water from the base of your palm. Go ahead and sip it. We're going to do this 2 more times. So again, take some water in your right hand. Do you all have Achman cups? You all should have Achman cups. Please repeat after me. Om Apavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastham Gato Apiva Yasmaret Pundarikaksham Sahabhaya Abhyantaraha Suchihi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. And sip the water from the base of your palm. One more time. Om Apavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastham Gato Apiva Yasmaret Pundarikaksham Sahabhaya Abhyantaraha Suchihi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. Please sip the water from the base of your palm. I'm going to recite some invocation mantras. Om Asya Karmana Punyaham Bhavantu Bhavantu. Om Punyaham Om Punyaham Om Punyaham. Om Asya Karmana Swasti Bhavantu Bhavantu Ayushman Swasti. Om Swasti Om Swasti Om Swasti. Om Asya Karmana Riddhim Bhavantu Bhavantu. Om Riddhyatam Om Riddhyatam Om Riddhyatam. Om Samno Mitra Samvaranaha Samno Bhata Aryama Samno Indro Prahaspatihi Samno Vishnu Rukamaha. Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvam Eva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvam Eva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmam Avatu Tadvaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shamno Mitra Samvaranaha Samno Bhata Aryama Samno Indro Prahaspatihi Samno Vishnu Urukramaha. Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvam Eva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvam Eva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadisham Ritam Avadisham Satyam Avadisham Tanmam Avid Tad Bhaktaram Avid Avid Mam Avid Bhaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahanam Avatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahi Tejasvi Navaditam Astuma Vidvisavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tacham Yona Vrinimahe Gatum Yagyaya Gatum Yagyapataye Daivi Swastir Astu Naha Swastir Manushebhyaha Urdhvam Jigatu Bheshajam Chamno Astu Dvipade Sham Chatushpade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So I'd like to request everybody, let's all recite the first 5 verses of Sri Brahma Samhita. We can do all together. Ishvaraha Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam Chintamani Prakarasatma Shukalpa Vraksha Laksha Vrateshu Surabhi Abhipalayantam लक्ष्मीसहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि वेणुं क्वणन्तमरविन्ददलायताक्षं बर्हावतां समसिताम्बुधसुन्दराङ्गं कन्दर्पकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभं विन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोलचन्द्रकलशोद्भनमाल्यवंशी रत्नाङ्गदं प्रणयकेलिकलाविलासं श्यामं त्रिभङ्गललितं नियतप्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अङ्गानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मयसदुज्ज्वलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Balaba Yedivadadaji Gopijana Balaba Yedivadadaji Yasonandana Brajajanuranjana Yasonandana Brajajanuranjana Jambunatira Banachare Yamuna Tera Manachare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura to Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravidacharya also tell us that the Shimad, His Divine Grace, Abhaya Charananda Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Saya Makunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavanam Ki Jai. Machuradam Ki Jai. Jagadava Swami Ki Jai. Yamunamaya Ki Jai. Shrimati Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glory is to the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nivashesha Shunyavadi Paschachate Shatarni. So Omagana Timidandasya Kananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Unmeditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, and the mercy of the Panchatattva, and of the great acharyas in our disciplic succession, we are sitting here today to observe Vaishnava Diksha, Vaishnava initiation. So today I was thinking about what is the purpose of Vaishnava initiation. You know, why are we getting initiated, or why should someone get initiated? And in that light, I was reading from Sanatana Goswami's famous book, the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, in which there are two parts of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. I just read the first part today. The first part describes who are the highest or best devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, all devotees are best, but there is some difference between the different devotees, and of course the conclusion was that the residents of Vrindavan, specifically the cowherd girls, the gopis, the young cowherd girls, were the best devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyway, so, and the second part of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita deals with the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan, and the journey of two souls in becoming completely Krishna conscious. I'm not going to tell the whole story right now. So, after reading the first part and thinking about the second part, I came to the conclusion that one of the purposes of initiation is to go back to the spiritual world. And as we find from the Bhagavad Gita, particularly the second chapter, which talks about the miseries of this material world. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, we hear about the miseries of the material world: birth, death, disease, old age, changing bodies, dukkaliyama shashvatam. I mean, so many statements are there in the Bhagavad Gita, to get out of this material. So that appears to be one of the purposes of taking initiation. It's a part of the path of sadhana bhakti, ultimately culminating in Raganuga Bhakti and then eventually Prema Bhakti, of entering into the spiritual kingdom at the end of this lifetime, or after several lifetimes, and we don't have to worry, we don't lose anything from one lifetime to another. Swapamapach dharmascha trayate mahato bayat. In this endeavor, there's no loss or diminution. And a little advancement, can say, went from the greatest type of fear. And of course, the greatest type of fear described by Srila Prabhupada is going down in the evolutionary hierarchy and becoming an animal or even worse. So that's one goal. But then I was thinking some more, getting out of the material world, going back to the spiritual world. And then I was thinking about that in terms of myself, and I was thinking, but that's just about me. So what is the purpose of initiation? What is the purpose of joining the Krishna conscious movement? The purpose, ultimately, is to help others and be part of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Because that, in and of itself, is going back to Godhead. If you can become part of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission in this material world, then you're already back to God. That's called Jivan Mukta. You're already liberated even within this body. So therefore, initiation is a vow to join Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan party, to serve, at least in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, to serve His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada's mission, which is called the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and to be a faithful member of that mission and to cooperate. As Prabhupada said, that's how our love is demonstrated, love for Him is demonstrated, to cooperate in that mission. So, and that is the greatest ecstasy. At the end of the first part of the Srimad, of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narada Muni asked for a benediction. And that benediction is not going back to Godhead. That benediction he asked Lord Krishna for Of course, this pastime takes place in Dwarka rather than in Vrindavan. But Narada Muni has previously observed the Vrindavan pastimes. But that benediction he asks Krishna for is to always be wandering throughout all the three worlds, chanting Krishna's glories, and anyone who hears Krishna's glories, hears Krishna's holy name, will become Krishna conscious. That's the ultimate benediction Narada Muni asked for, even after observing the spiritual world, all the different varieties of devotees and different levels in the heavenly planets, Lord Shiva, all the different Vaishnavas. He asked for that particular benediction. So, of course, Mama Janmani, Janmani Shre, Bhavatad Bhakti Ahaitaki Dwaye. And that mood of compassion, imbibing that mood of compassion, is the method to become completely Krishna conscious. Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu, and also Avansha Kalpa Turubija, Kripa Sindhu Vyevata. So, anyway, so to me, that's what the purpose is, to help others and to engage like Narada Muni is engaging in helping others. And then Srila Prabhupada, of course, was the perfect personification of that particular mood. Amazing pastimes, able to tolerate so much. As we know, as I mentioned many times before, Srila Prabhupada was quite old when he came to the Western world. And many of us, well, not many of us, some of us are old, like me. And we can understand the austerities. At this point, I can understand the austerities and the things that Prabhupada had to tolerate in order to spread Krishna consciousness. And he was always happy. Always happy. So then the question is, what is the methodology for becoming Krishna conscious? And the methodology is very simple. Hearing and chanting. Hearing and chanting Krishna's holy names, serving the Vaishnavas, and showing compassion. As Lord Chaitanya had his three main missions, Jiva Doi, Namaruchi, isn't it? Vaishnava Seva. Very, very important. So, getting on with the general description of the initiation. So there are devotees here who are taking, one devotee here is taking first initiation, and several devotees are taking or having sanctified the second initiation they've already taken. And so I'm going to describe these initiations. The first initiation is called the Harinam initiation. Harinam, of course, refers to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So one may ask, why does one have to take initiation to chant Hare Krishna? Good question. And even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that the holy name does not wait for initiation. In other words, you don't have to be initiated to chant Hare Krishna. However, in order to perfect the chanting of Hare Krishna, one has to follow the process given by the acharyas. And if one tries to invent their own process, what's that? Shruti Smriti Puranani Pantriki Vidhim Vina Aikantiki Harir Bhakti Upata Kaiva Kalpate, that if one tries to invent their own process, it creates a disturbance in society as well as holds up one's own spiritual progress. So the process is to approach a spiritual master, take initiation. And so what does that initiation signify, at least the first initiation? It's a promise. And when you make a promise or a vow, you tend to take it more seriously, at least in cultured society. I know in the West, generally they say, promises are meant to be broken. Or when I was young, when you would promise something, you'd probably cross your fingers. Right? Anyone do? That's in India also, they have that. And you'd put your fingers crossed behind your back so nobody could see them. But promises are meant to be taken very seriously. And today, promises are being made before Sri Sri Radhagolokananda, the Vaishnavas, spiritual master, the fire. And very, very important to keep one's promises. Ekeha Kurunandara. One should be very one-pointed in that. And so those promises indicate to Krishna that you're serious. That's the initiation. You're serious. You're going to continue no matter what. Just like I took initiation so many years ago, it's hard to calculate, 1971. And from that day, I took that, well, I was chanting 16 rounds before then, but I took a promise, and I haven't broken that promise in all those years, even though many times I've been sick, just like anyone else. People do get sick. Many times, not, or at least sometimes, lying in bed with a fever, COVID, or pre-COVID, or long COVID. So many varieties. So even though, I would just chant my rounds. I have to finish these rounds no matter what. That's the determination. And that's faithfulness. You show Krishna your faithfulness by making these promises. It's just like in marriage. You have marriages because people, what is a marriage? The promise to each other to remain faithful. That's the essence. I mean, you can have fire, you can have flowers, or in other cultures, they can drink wine or something like that. But in any case, it's the promise that's important. So that's the initiation. The promise, the commitment. And when you make a promise to Krishna, he commits to you. Yayatamam prapajante tam stataiva bhajamiham. It's reciprocal. As you approach Krishna, he approaches you. Or as Prabhupada would sometimes say, you take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes 10 steps towards you. But if you don't take any steps towards Krishna, Krishna's thinking this person is not so serious. So therefore, that's why we have this initiation to chant Hare Krishna. Even though the holy name is all potent, you don't have to be initiated to chant the holy name. The same potency is there, isn't it? Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktish, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes. All your transcendental potency is there in the holy names. But still, you derive connection, a sambandha, from this initiation. And it's the process given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and passed through disciplic succession, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and our whole Vaishnava disciplic succession. So anyway, that's why Harinam initiation is there. So Prabhupada would always talk about the 10 offenses during a Harinam initiation. And I'm going to go very quickly because it's just one devotee taking first initiation. So don't commit these offenses. At the same time, you can take the indication or the enumeration of these offenses to indicate positive things you should do. For example, the first offense is to blaspheme the devotees of the Lord who have dedicated their lives to propagating the holy name of the Lord. So instead, serve the devotees. Easy, right? Second offense is to consider the names of the demigods, like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, to be equal to the holy name, equal to Lord Vishnu's names, equal or independent. Instead, understanding Ekaleshwara Krishna Sabdavricha. There's one supreme controller. Krishna is non-different from his holy name. The names of the demigods are simply their positions. except for Lord Shiva. So you understand that in a positive way. Third offense, of course, is disobey the order of the spiritual master. The positive one of that is really easy to understand. Anyone know? Obey the order of the spiritual. And next one is blasphemy in the Vedic literatures, the literatures that in the Vedic pursuance. So instead, you glorify Vedic literatures, any literature which points out the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so the next offense is to consider the chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination, or at least the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Then you understand that Namachintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nityamukto Bina Dwama Nama Naumino. Krishna is there in his holy name. It's not an imagination. Next offense is to give some perverted interpretation on the holy name. The actual interpretation is that it's Krishna's name. Krishna means the most attractive person. There's an actual meaning to Krishna. Krish, attract. Like the verse in the Gita, Krishigo Rakshavanijam, Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. A Vaishya pulls a tractor. Not a tractor, pulls a plow, sorry. So that's, even in English we have this word, tract, tor, right? Which pulls. So Krishna pulls, he gives us ananda, he gives us bliss, and negates this material energy. So Krishna. So next offense is commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting. And positive, do devotional activities on the strength of chanting, and don't commit sins. Sins, basically the four regulated principles: illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. These are the pillars upon which Kali stands. And obviously, these things should be avoided like the plague. So, and the next offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be a ritual. We have many different rituals that we do which are good, which help us remember Krishna. We accept everything favorable for remembering Krishna. Just like I'm wearing a dhoti. That's a ritual, but it helps me remember Krishna, which is fine. But if I just wear a dhoti and don't chant, it's not going to get me back to the spiritual world. There's a lot of Rakshasas who wear dhotis. You know, probably Ravana wore one. I mean, there weren't blue jeans around when Ravana and Kumbhakarna were there. Plus there were no clothes big enough for Kumbhakarna. The only thing he could do is find a lot of cloth and wrap it around himself. So, anyway, it's not a ritual. We have rituals. Rituals are not bad. They're good. But it's not a ritual. It's directly Krishna. And the next one is to instruct the faithless person about the glories of chanting. That means before we speak to someone, we should understand who we're speaking to, what's the best thing for them, rather than to blast them with aspects of the philosophy that will actually turn them off from Krishna consciousness. I had a friend who used to go on Sankirtan, book distribution, and he would quote to almost everybody this verse from the Bhagavad Gita, Swavid Varahostra Karai, Samstuta Parasha Pashu, that you're like a dog, camel, ass. And so be careful what you say to people. Be careful. So, and then the last one is to not have complete faith in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, to maintain material attachments. It's not offensive to have material attachments. It is offensive to try to maintain them and increase the material attachments. So the way we get rid of the material attachments is Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patita Mam Vishame Bhavambudo Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrasam Vachintaya. We cry out to the Lord as we're chanting, O son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I've fallen into this horrible ocean of birth and death. Please fix me up as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. So we cry out and we become aware of these anarthas, unwanted things that are interfering with our relationship to Krishna. Also, it's mentioned that inattentive chanting is sort of like the offense that contains all the other offenses. So one should be very, very, very careful when they're. So how do you attain attentiveness while you're chanting? You make a sankalpa before you start chanting. Why am I chanting? You know, oftentimes we think of what we're doing, how we're doing it, but then we don't think of why we're doing it. That's called niyamagraha. Means ritualistic behavior, which is a cause of deviation from Krishna consciousness. So if we avoid these offenses and take the positive whenever possible, and read Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshastika, imbibe the teachings in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshastika, apply them in our chanting, then our spiritual advancement will be rapid. So that's the first initiation. And of course the vows, the promises, 16 rounds, 4 regulated principles. So the second initiation is called Brahman initiation or Gayatri initiation. And so the purpose of that, in addition to the first initiation, is to draw one closer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and give one the opportunity to render service to the Archa Vigraha form of the Lord. The Archa Vigraha form of the Lord is the Lord manifest in this world so that we can perceive him with our eyes. And so we have Shishi Radhagalokananda here. So some of you who are taking second initiation will get the opportunity to do some deity worship for Shishi Radhagalokananda. Actually, that's a requirement. Not that some of you, all of you, will do it. Otherwise, anyway, we're not going to call you Brahma Bandhus. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that. But what's a Brahma Bandhu? A Brahma Bandhu is someone who doesn't have Brahminical qualities, but also has their Gayatri thread, or they've taken the second initiation. And so, what are the Brahminical qualities? Sama, Dhamma, Tapaksho, Cham, Shanti, Rajavameva, Cha, Yanaviganamastikhyam, Brahma Karma, Swabhavajam. So, these qualities may not be manifest in you right now. It's not that you're going to take initiation, oh wow. Now I'm equal poised. Your wife doesn't cook the right food for you for dinner, and you say, that's all right, dear. And she says, what happened to you? No. It's not said like magic. I remember in the 1960s, there were these bogus gurus. Of course, that's a contradiction, which we call an oxymoron. There were these bogus gurus who supposedly gave their disciples instant realization. There was one who allowed you to see Brahman by, I guess, pinging your eyeballs. They actually did that, or they touch you in some spot. And so you get instant, wow, Guru Maharaj has given me instant realization, or even worse, they had drugs in the 1960s, they still have drugs now, where people think that they take a pill. I was just listening to a Prabhupada memory today, it was really interesting. There was one devotee who saw Prabhupada for the first time, and he thought, you know, when I go to see Prabhupada, before I go to see him, he wasn't a devotee at that time. He just came to the temple for the first time. The devotee said you could see Prabhupada. So on the way to see Prabhupada, he snuck into the bathroom, and he put some LSD into his mouth. So he goes to see Prabhupada, and he's, I don't want to use the word high, he's low. He's amazing memory. I never heard this one before. I heard it today. And he's staring at Prabhupada like that. And he's looking at the wrinkles in Prabhupada's face and everything like that. You can imagine, Prabhupada's so tolerant, Tolerant, who knows if his eyes were dilated or whatever. And Prabhupada would understand. And then Prabhupada just said to him, hearing is more important than seeing the spiritual master. So that's the point. So when you hear Shushushro Shradanasha Vasudevakata Ruchi Shan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtana Shevanat, when you hear, you're rendering service. And by hearing, then eventually you'll develop those qualities, they'll come spontaneously. In the meantime, if you want to be a Brahmin and you don't have the qualities, the spontaneous qualities of peacefulness, use your intelligence. Think before you speak. Think before you act. That's really important. The intelligence is higher than the mind. The analogy that Krishna gives. There's the chariot, which is the body, the horses, the senses, the mind, the brains, the intelligence is the driver. Intelligence is the form direction of the supersoul. So we should know, yes, I'm supposed to be equipoised. There's the first quality. Equipoised. Okay, I don't feel like it. I feel like yelling at my wife because she didn't cook what I wanted tonight. But no. I'm supposed to be a Brahmin. Okay. Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. That's why we chanted Shanti, Om Shanti before the sacrifice. So, no, I'm going to be equipoised, act equipoised. And Prabhupada said, action in knowledge gives realization. That's interesting. And if you wait for it to happen, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to act in intelligence. It means pull back on the reins. Driver pulls back on the reins. And you say, no, I'm not going to yell. So that's sama. I'm equipoised. Dhamma, sense control. That vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udara vegam. I'll eat what's necessary. I won't eat too much. I'll speak what's necessary. I'll use my senses in the proper way. So this is Dhamma. Dhamma actually means tame, to tame the senses. Tapa. I'll accept things favorable for serving Krishna and reject those things that are unfavorable for serving Krishna. Even though I may want to accept a lot of things that are unfavorable, my mind is telling me to do it. I'm not going to do it. That's the intelligence platform again. Tapa. And then shocham. And shocham means cleanliness. That I'm going to keep this body clean. And above all, Oma Pavitra Pavitrava Sarva Vastam Gatobiva. Yaksmaret Pundarikaksham Sabaya Avyantara Shuchi Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. I'm going to remember the purpose of life, remember Krishna, and that will keep my mind pure. And the chanting of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I mean, many of us who were with Prabhupada saw that he was continually chanting the holy name. If there was a little bit of silence, there wasn't a discussion, a philosophical point to be made, probably sometimes under his breath we go Hare Krishna, Hare. I remember going to several interviews with Prabhupada at TV stations, and Prabhupada would be chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The other person would be talking, and Prabhupada would be, very softly chanting. Actually, there's an interesting story about that. In one television interview, they were adjusting the microphones and everything like that. And they said, there's this clicking noise. And we just can't get rid of the clicking noise. So they went all over the studio, looking, what's this? Click, 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 click. And it turned out it was Prabhupada's beads. So they spent a few minutes or whatever trying to rectify the situation. So anyway, so cleanliness, remembering Krishna, and being tolerant. Yeah, Titikshava Kurunika Surida Sarvadena. Being tolerant, religious, honest, and finally, Jnana Vijnanam, studying Srila Prabhupada's books. First of all, in order, as Vaisheshika Prabhu says, the first rule in distributing books is to have the book. Right? So the first rule in reading the books is have the books too. And nowadays we're so fortunate, we can keep the books on our mobile phone, we can keep the books on our Kindle, we can keep the books on the computer. So there's always an opportunity for reading Srila Prabhupada's books. I mean, everybody has a mobile phone. Instead of texting and everything like that, you just pick up and read a few shlokas, and then you're happy. Instead of going on, what is that called? TikTok. Why waste your time just trying to see some images or videos that entertain you? Just read, one shloka. If you can understand one shloka, you'll go back to Godhead. That's all you got to do. Just understand fully. Prabhupada even said one word in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but I'm saying one shloka. So anyways, and you apply that knowledge, jnana vijnanam, and you act in a religious way, ashtikam. You act in a religious way so that people will, as a Brahmin, people will respect our Krishna conscious movement because you'll be seen as representatives of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So whatever you do, as Shakespeare said, Caesar's wife must be above suspicion. Does everybody understand that? That means if you're connected with the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, you act in such a way that you don't bring ill repute to the society. And people, on the positive side, you should bring positive repute, positive feedback, a positive vision of our Krishna conscious society. So that's the second initiation. You're a priest, a Brahmin, and as I mentioned, you should worship the deities. That's the principle. The deity, Shakshad, Brajendra, Nandana. Directly, Krishna, you get special mercy by worshiping Shri Radhagalokananda. Okay, so that's the purpose and the reason for initiation and the process of initiation. And so now we'll continue with, first of all, the name giving. And then we'll give the men who are taking second initiation their Brahman threads, and they'll get their, everyone who's taking second initiation will get their mantras later after the ceremony. They can come to my house to get that. Okay, so we have first initiation is Sanjay. And Haribol. And you're offering obeisance to the deities, Prabhupada first. With the crowd here, you can do it in one spot. Srila Prabhupada and Shri Radhagalokananda. And Vaishnavas. Okay, that's good. Okay, Sanjay, congratulations. So, what are the four regulated principles you're promising to follow?
No meat eating, no illicit sex, No gambling, no intoxications.
Very good. And how many rounds will you chant are you going to chant every day without fail?
16 rounds.
16 rounds. And if you have an opportunity on Ekadashi to chant more,
Sure. Maharaj.
that will help.
Sure,
I
Maharaj.
mean, and if you have any extra time, you can chant extra rounds. There's no harm. Actually, there's a great benefit.
Sure, Maharaj.
It's interesting. Today, I had some extra time in spite of reading most of the first part of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. How many rounds did I chant? I chanted 33 rounds today. So,
Haribol.
so you fill your time up with Krishna. If you have some spare time, if something happens, you have some spare time, then you fill it with Krishna.
Sure, Maharaj.
Okay, so you get the beads with your right hand. Your name now is Shastra Das. Shastra Das ki jai. Shastra Das ki jai. So Shastra refers to the instructions given by Krishna, like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the Vedic literatures. That's Shastra. And we have a choice. We can follow Shastra, or then we get something called Shastra. You understand the difference?
Yes, Maharaj.
Shastra is the instructions, the book, and Shastra, well, Yamaraj is in charge of that one. I think you get the idea. Okay. Congratulations. So the men who are getting second initiation should come up, and I'll give the threads. Yeah, one by one. The wife can come. She doesn't get a thread. I mean, we're modern, but it's interesting. In some of the old temples in India, you'll see depicted in the reliefs on the outside of the temple, ladies with Brahman threads. It's interesting. You can both come up. Just offer obeisances. Actually, if one doesn't have the Brahminical qualities and just gets the thread, then they're Brahma bandhus. They're relatives or friends of a Brahmin. So it's very important to develop those qualities to be able to serve. Like Prabhupada said, you're serving Krishna, who is the supreme Brahman, so you have to become a Brahmin or Brahman and come up to the Brahman platform. That means to be spiritual. You look good in a dhoti. Probably take the whole hand off. Yeah. Oh, is it not for that? Needs a little help. Okay. Right hand. Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Keep your right hand through the thread. Brahma-Buddha, Prasanatma. Okay. So now we can, what? Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Maharaj,
Hare Krishna.
my pranams to you, Maharaj. So excited. So I met my Guru Maharaj. Second chance I got, I am so excited. So I got both blessings. Thank you so much
Hare
for
Krishna.
your. Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna.
much.
Hare Krishna. Oh, vows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, all right, the first initiation vows. Okay. So, what are the four regulative principles?
No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication.
Yeah. And how many rounds?
Minimum 16 round every day.
And you can chant more on the Kadashi.
Sure.
Do it. Haribo. Very good. Okay.
So Venupriya Vijaya Mataji, just I think last month, right, Mataji? Last month she actually received online initiation from His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj.
Haribo.
And Maharaj actually, Mataji met Maharaj in Atlanta last year, and then as soon as she saw Maharaj, she got the connection, and she was so dedicated. You know,
Good.
Maharaj requires like you read few books, and she like did all the requirements, and she was blessed with the initiation. And she really wanted to take vows again in front of His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and she said like this is double mercy. So
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
All right. Oh, she can come and offer obeisances, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hariva! Also, Shweta Manjari received her second initiation online from his great. At Sadhusanga. Okay. But she didn't sit for the fire sacrifice, so she wanted to sit. So again,
Okay.
she wants to offer obeisances and receive the blessings of Maharaj.
Hare-
Hariva! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hariva!
Haribo. Okay,
Continue.
they can do the fire, right? Anyone else? No. Brahma-Bhuta, Prasanatma. So those who are taking second Brahma-Bhuta, you should be on the Brahma-Bhuta platform. Brahma-Bhuta, Prasanatma, Nashochati, Nakanchati, Samak Sarveshu, Bhuteshu, Mad Bhaktim, Labate, Param. How do you come to the Brahma-Bhuta platform? Anyone have any ideas? What's the next verse in the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, that's right. That's how you come to the Brahma-Bhuta platform. Bhakti-mama pshanati yavanyas chasmi tadvata. Tadvato tadvata. Vishade tad anantaram. by becoming a devotee. That's the supreme Brahma Bhuta platform, and then you'll never hanker or lament for anything in this world. Right? What's that? Yeah, one question.
It was very purifying to again hear the initiation lecture, and it shows the heart where I need to be and how to improve. Maharaj, you established a relationship with a disciple and a guru during your class, but my question is, how can a neophyte sadhaka develop the love you have for your guru? Like, that is my question, that how to have that love.
Okay, Prabhupada answers that question very nicely in a class. He described how marriages used to take place in India. That means the marriage was arranged when the boy was very young and the girl was very young. I'm not going to mention the ages because people will be shocked right now. But they would exchange, probably, at least in Bengal, this is what happened. They would exchange things. The girl would know that's going to be my husband. She'd make things. Obviously, they wouldn't live together until they were mature age. It wasn't, something that was prohibited nowadays. So she would send things over, maybe sweets or something like that. And by engaging in service, the devotion would fructify. That's how, by engaging in service. And eventually, when they got married, she was in love with him. Even the first time they met physically, she was in love with him. So that's the point. By engaging, this Prabhupada talked about that. By engaging in service, sevan mukhe jivado swayameva spirachita, then that devotion, because what happens when one engages in service? Prachakshavagam dharmayam shushukam kartamavyam. One gets direct realization. One gets association, because one associates with the spiritual master, associates with his divine grace, Srila Prabhupada, through hearing and service. And when you associate, like we associate with Krishna, you love him, develop love for him. So when we chant Hare Krishna, we develop love for Krishna. So in the same way that marriages used to be arranged, we render service. So, okay, time for the fire sacrifice.
So all the devotees here, you can turn around.
Face the fire.
Face the fire. Let's congratulate all the devotees receiving their first and second initiation. Haribo! So we'll have the fire yagya, and after that downstairs will be prasadam. One quick announcement: we would like to thank Chandrasekhar Prabhu and Shama Kishori Mataji and their entire team. They cooked the Sunday feast and they also sponsored the Sunday feast for today. So let's thank them. Haribo! And also please mark your calendars. Next weekend we have a special visiting guest. His Grace Raj Bihari Prabhu will be in town. He's a very nice brahmachari from Chaupati, along with Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, the same group. So he gives very inspiring classes. So we'll have Saturday evening program in Cary and then Sunday feast. So next weekend, His Grace Raj Bihari Prabhu will be in town. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so now we are going to do a sankalpa. So I request all of you devotees, please take some water in your right hand. Use the Achaman cup. Yes. Do you have somebody who can change it? Do you have necklace? Okay. Prabhu, you want to take care of that? Okay. Let's continue. So take some water in your right hand. And please, let's do this mantra. Om Tat Sat Shri Govindo 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 Ashyam Shubha Titho Achyuta Gotraha. And now everybody please say your name. Everybody please say your own name.
Yeah.
Vikasananda Krishnadas. Shri Krishna Pritiyartham Upanan Samskara Karishyami. And now leave the water from the tips of your finger. Leave it like this on the floor. Just let the water drop. Yeah. Just let the water drop. Om Astraya Heti Raja Hamfat. Hare Krishna. So, tying these cotton threads is called kalava. It's part of the process. So, the Prabhus will get it on their right wrist and Matajis get it on the left wrist. And so you can tie for each other. Om apagachantu te bhuta ye bhuta bhuvi samsita ye bhuta vigna kartaras te gachanti agnya hare. सनत कुमार काम देवा ध्याय शीर्ष माम देवी हे पति देव हे लनाथ देवर्षि वर्या पुरुषाचना तरात कूर्मो हरि माम निरया शेषात. So while you're doing the tying, we are going to now invoke the fire. And fire is a personality, and there are different types of fires to be invoked for different ceremonies. Today is the initiation. So for initiation, we are going to request the Samudbhava fire to please manifest. Om Prajapati Vishnu Rishi Brahati Chandaha Shri Vishnu Devata Agni Sapane Viniyogaha. Om Bhur Bhuvasha Om. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Om Samudva Namagne Iha Gacha Agne Tvam Samudva Namasi Avayami Stapayami Prabhu Kripaya Swagatam Kuru. क्लिंग हृदय नमः कृष्णाय शिरसे स्वाहा गोविंदाय शिखाय वसत गोपीजना वल्लभाय होम वल्लभाय वितनिताय वसते ओम अस्त्राय फट. Can we have a short kirtan? Somebody may please lead a short kirtan. दीपा चिरे वही दशांतरम अभुपेत्य दीपा इति वृत्ति हेतु समान धर्म यस्या जगत विष्णुदेव भाति गोविंदमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. वेशधूप समुद्व नामग्ने नमः. एषदीप समध्वा नामाग्ने नमः एष गन्ध समध्वा नामाग्ने नमः इदं पुष्पं संवहुता नामाग्ने नमः इदं नैवेद्यं समुद्वा नामाग्ने नमः ओम तद्विष्णु परमं पदं सदा पश्यति सूर्यो दिव्यचक्षुरो ददं तद्विप्राशुपुष्टमेव जागरं स समिन्यते विष्णोर्यत् परमं पदम् ओम कृष्णो वासजैदानन्दगणः श्रीकृष्णपुरुषोत्तमः कृष्णपुरुषोत्तमः कृष्णसादिकर्मादिमूलं कृष्णसह वैकोर्यः कृष्णकाशं कृत आदिशो मुख्यप्रभु पूज्यः कृष्णवनादिस्तस्मै न जनन्तर्बाह्ये यन्मङ्गलं लं लभते कृति अहं क्रतुरहं यज्ञ स्वादम् अहम् औषधं मन्त्रोऽहम् ओम प्रभो निरुद्ध प्रशुवायज्ञपतिं वागयापत सर्वभूतस्थः केतुवकेतां न पुनातु वागीशा वाचं न स्वदधातु ओम भुवः स्वाहा इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः ओम भुवः भूस्वाहा ओम भुवः स्वाहा इदमच्युताय इदं नमः ओम स्व स्वाहा इदं नारायणाय इदं नमः ओम भूर्भुवः स्व स्वाहा इदं अनन्ताय इदं नमः Okay, we are going to now recite the Mangala Charan and we are going to offer the Yahutis. So in front of you there's a bowl with some grains and Havan Samagri mixture in it. So when I say Swaha, you're going to offer the grains to the fire. So you might want to come closer. So get to come closer to the fire. And when you offer the grains, offer it. Don't go like this with all 5 fingers. Just go like that, like a cow. Yeah, Bharatanatyam dancers know this very well. They are all experts. I learned it from them. So you go like that, second finger, third finger, and the thumb, and you take a small quantity or take as much quantity as you can fit, and then you can take to the fire, and you can go with palm facing upwards. Use your thumb to push the grains in the fire, or you can go like this and just throw it into the fire. Okay, but that's when I say Swaha. And for those who know the Mangala Charan, you can also recite along with me. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Swaha 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 Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale. Let's do that, okay. So let's have all the, so Hare Krishna. So let's have all the initiate devotees. Why don't you repeat after the mantra that I say? So let's just start over. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha स्वाहा 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 श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकां स्वाहा 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 वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवां साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च स्वाहा 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 नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते वीर कृष्ण गोस्वामी इति नामिने स्वाहा 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 नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे स्वाहा 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 नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वतीति नामिने श्री वर्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुरोज्जाल्य प्रेमाध्य श्री रूपानुगा भक्तिदा श्री गौरा करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्धापा सिद्धांत ध्वांतहारिणे स्वाहा 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 नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बर संबोधे पदाम्बुजायते नमः स्वाहा 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 नमः भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय